Body. Hello, Honorée.
Hello, Lucas.
Hello.
Hello. Maybe Helen will join us and she will want to understand our language.
Hello, Facebook land. Hello, LinkedIn. What's up, YouTube? All the
Yeah,
people, all
wow.
the places.
All the
Right.
places.
I got to log
Great.
into LinkedIn. This is my weekly LinkedIn login, multiple chat management fun.
I was thinking this
See.
morning that I'm so glad that I have you that you're able to handle this technology. And then yesterday we had a something with our server and email, and Byron is the person, who handles all of those things. I'm just doing, crossing my fingers and toes.
All the tech fun
Yeah,
comes along with all
tech
this
is
stuff.
great.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Oh, we have Mr. Bob Latino in the house.
Oh, hello, Bob.
He
And
Bob,
Lisbeth. Is it Lisbeth? I love that name.
yes. So Lisbeth is she commented on the post when we put it out to invite a
Oh,
gentleman named Mike Palmer to check us out. So maybe Mike will join us today. That'd be awesome. Mike, if you're joining us, nice to meet you through the chat, first of all. She was telling him
has
about
everyone forgotten? Has everyone forgotten the Mike, 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 Mike?
so so Bob's a
Where are
very
you?
special man.
Okay. Hi, Bob.
He is, yeah, Bob's awesome. Bob is one of the world's leading root cause analysis experts. He's a Paisan. He lives here in Virginia, probably 40 minutes from me, maybe tops.
Okay. Okay.
And he comes from a long line of reliability engineering professionalism. His father was one of like the foundational guys in that industry.
Oh,
And they ran a family business for over 40 years before Bob and his brothers and sisters decided to move into a quasi-retirement state. And so Bob, how much do I owe you for that? So Bob and his brother stood up a company named Prelical, and I won't make fun of the name on video because we give his brother enough of a hard time about the name. We always joke
did
with
you
him
say
like
Prelical?
Prelical, yeah, practical
Prelical.
reliability, yeah.
That's cool,
So
though.
I
That's
think it's
cool.
great.
I like it. I don't care what Lucas says. Don't listen to Lucas.
So
Prelical
Bob's one
sounds
of
like a
my,
cool name for a company, and I don't
yeah.
I don't I don't think we should say anything bad.
No, and Bob is one of my mentors. Not only is he a dear friend, but he was one of the gentlemen that really kind of embraced me when I stepped into that world of work. And result of alcohol and low marketing budget is his response.
You know,
um, Now,
sometimes that's what you need.
Bob is also an author.
Excellent.
That Yeah, Bob and his brothers have written a series of books on root cause analysis. And Bob, we'll throw a link to your most recent publication in the chat as soon as we wrap up here. Feel free to drop it in the chat if you don't want to wait till the end. You can just drop it right in now if you want. But yeah, they basically create what I considered like the leading technical but non-technical publication in that space. It's amazing. But he's got the gift of just like simplifying and working with anyone, which is amazing.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I'm so glad
They
you're here,
also
Bob.
have Yeah, and they also have
Marino
courses.
is here.
Oh, there's Miss Jen. Hello, Miss Jen, Facebook user.
Facebook user.
She we are
Generic Facebook user. Could be
yeah.
anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, Jen. So Jen, how's it going today? Is Facebook behaving? Or is our Facebook feed lively yet? Let's see. There you go. There's Bob's link. So if anyone just heard the conversation about the root cause analysis, improving performance for bottom line results book, you can find it right there.
Yeah.
We'll save that.
Sometimes the root cause is a person.
Don't get Bob started on that.
Tell me I'm wrong, Bob. Tell me I'm wrong. Sometimes the root cause is a person.
He's going to say, nah, I wouldn't stop there.
I wouldn't start there. Uh-oh. Well, I like how the link has Latino in the link. I like it.
Yes. Yeah. It's not a song. It's the actual name of all three of the authors. So it's Bob and his two brothers.
Oh, I like it. Latino.
Yeah.
Olé.
Absolutely.
I like it.
And oh, there we go. So we've got Jen. All right. So who else do we have on Facebook?
Human error. Yes.
Hello,
it's a human
my
who
friend.
makes an error.
Yes. The upside down smiley face from Bob.
Yeah.
So yeah, do we have a Facebook user replying to us saying hello, my friend, that is not Jen Pisano? Is there anyone else out there on Facebook?
I think that's it.
Am I going to have to open Facebook and LinkedIn?
I think you are.
I might have to. Okay.
Well, let's. We're not telling you nothing.
Yeah, we're not telling you. They're all keeping their hands close. So it's actually kind of fortuitous that Bob jumped in because Bob has written books and created courses from his books.
Nice.
And that's kind of the topic for today is monetizing your book with a course.
There's a great book coming out on that topic soon.
It's a book. It's going to be a great book.
It is a great book. I know. I've read it.
Well,
at least once.
Yes.
Every day for the past week. At least once every day for the past week. Yeah. Yep. No, it's great. I think it's great. I think it will it will help people to understand the entire process in a way that will not overwhelm them, and they'll feel like, okay, I'm going to do this part, and then I'll do this part, and then I'll do this part. Oh, it's Helen. See, Helen. I spoke the British, and it summoned her. Hello. How am I doing? Helen. Hello. It's just hello.
It's like the gift that just keeps on giving. She's got to be so sick of us giving her a hard time.
She loves us. There's no way she could be sick of us. There's no way. See, she says hello. And the role of Helen Fire is Helen Bullen.
Yes.
Sorry, with a fringe on top.
That's right. I just dropped a link to, you can't buy the book yet, guys. It's going to be live on February 27th. But if you're watching this and you're like, I would like to get an advanced reader's copy of said book, monetize your book with a course, then you can go to this link that I've got on the screen right here. I'll leave it up for just a few minutes so you guys can write that. It'll also be in the chat, I think. And you can check it out. You can download a free, yes, you heard that right, advanced reader's copy. Just know that if you do that, I've got your email address and your first name.
Which is basically gives you the ability to steal their identity. But let's talk about when the book's coming out. When nothing to see here. When does the book come out officially?
February 27th.
Which is a week from Monday. Hi, Sabina.
It is a week.
You can tell we have a good time, right? Like, because otherwise, what's the point?
Sabina says she's getting the book. Thank you, Sabina. I appreciate that.
Good. Sabina, be on the advanced reader team. Leave him a wonderful review. Get his course. Monetize your book with the course. Learn Thinkific. All the things.
Yeah. All the things.
All the things. Well, it's so interesting because being on the book expert side, right? I'm going to use air quotes, right? Being on this side, it's like, oh, it's easy. You just do this and this and this and this and this. And then being on the course side, it's like, oh, there's a lot to know. And sometimes subject matter experts can take a complex subject and make it complicated.
Yeah.
I think the smartest subject matter experts take a complex subject and simplify it, making the person who does not understand it so well able to navigate it, help them to navigate it effectively. And I feel like, having read your course, that even though I've been through it and I'm starting to get a grasp of it, that when I want to know something, it's like, oh, chapter and course surveys, which is in chapter 4, right? So you cover course critiques, reviews, and testimonials. It's like chapter and course surveys. You talk about why someone would need to take a survey. You also talk about quizzes in a different place. Like, do I want to give a quiz? Why would someone want to take a quiz? Why would we give someone a quiz? Who wants a quiz, right? So it's like, is that necessary? And when is it necessary? And so being able to go back and have the index to go, okay, chapter 7, discount coupons or reduce your risk in a pre-sale. Like, do you put it up for pre-sale? How much do you price it for the pre-sale? You cover all those things, and they're all important in and of themselves. Just like when you're publishing a book, if you do everything right and you have a crappy, cheap book cover, sorry,
Sure.
You're not going to win. Right. But you don't need to know everything all at the same time. So it's a really great read all the way through, but then you can say, okay, what's the tech that I really need? How much is it going to cost? It's all in there. And it makes it so that it's not simple and it's not easy, but it's accessible, because I don't need to worry about putting my course up for pre-order. I need to think about these other things, and what are the other things, and how do I find them? So I like the way that it's laid out, and the fact that I'm going to be able to go back and walk myself through it if I don't have the bat phone.
Right.
I mean, sometimes you have the bat phone and you can just call. Lucas. Oh my God, Lucas, help me. Right. So this is great. This is so great, because I think every author now, having, hindsight is 2020, now having books and companion products and courses, that's the thing I recommend all the time. I recommended it on the Building $1 Million Book Business Q&A the other day. Someone said, what's the thing that I should do next? And I just said, now I always talk about the 3-legged stool. Have a book, have a companion workbook course, something, or workbook or journal or something like that, and then have a course. And I did not develop courses for a long time. And when I was told I needed to have a course, I was like, no, because in my mind, I was thinking there's so many ways to screw this up. Just the video part of it alone made me nervous. But then when I did it, I got direction and advice, and I did it. It was actually easier than I thought, because I had good direction and information. So why is this your first book? Why did you go here first?
So this is the one I thought would help the most people. That's why I put this one out first, because I had several manuscripts in publication right now, like in various phases of development and draft. We actually were pushing to publish a different book first, me and Karen Hunsinger, who's the editor on the book.
Yeah.
I sat down with Karen one time, because she's so much more, like you and I were just talking about this yesterday. She's a great book coach. I guess what we call them, book doctors, right?
Book doctor.
Yeah. She was just, really filling that role for me, especially early in the process. And we were majority of the way through the first pass on a draft of a different book. And I stopped and just said, I don't think this is the right book to put out right now, because I don't think it's going to help as many people as this other book would if I put it out. And she was like, absolutely agree. Yep. So that was the first motivation. The second motivation was I had a lot of nonfiction authors coming to me to help them build their courses, and a lot of what they were asking, I didn't feel like they really had many options to go find all this stuff in a very easy to digest, simple language, consolidated single point of resource or authority.
I agree.
And so, after talking with you and talking with a few other people, it was kind of it kind of became my primary focus. And that's when I started writing the book in September.
Yeah.
So to try and help as many nonfiction authors as I could, because it's frustrating meeting people that have done so much good work to write a book, and now they're trying to recoup their investment in the book production. They're trying to roll this into a business in other ways, like we were talking about, complementary products, courses, coaching programs, all those types of things. And I think it was just very fortuitous that the two clients I was talking to the most were nonfiction authors and coaches. And I was like, this is just going to be really helpful for people if I put it together right.
Yes. Yes. And once you have your book outline, not even when you have a book, I mean, this is really turning your book into a course. So it's kind of assuming that someone has a book, but if their book is still in production,
oh yeah,
they can pre-sell their course and be funding their book production with their course pre-sales.
Right.
Which we talk about in another video. So we're not going to stay there, but if you're interested in this process, you'll want to go to watch the three-legged stool video where we talk about book, companion, and course.
Right.
Yeah. So will there be speaking of companions, will there be a place for people to kind of take notes and work their way through developing their course?
Absolutely. A very wise person told me to make sure that I keep track of what I'm doing so I can build a workbook to support the book. And this book in particular was inspired by my first workbook I bought from your course. I Must Write My Book, the workbook. Let me make it so that it's a little bit easier to see and read. So when I saw your workbook, it really brought the pieces together for me. I got to see in my mind what the workbook elements that I usually build in courses looks like in print and how well it went with the book. It was a no-brainer. So yeah. So we're gonna publish a companion workbook after the book launch.
Yep. Great.
Yes,
great,
ma'am.
great. Because people will want that. And then obviously there's going to be a course, or is there already a course? What's the state of the union? Give us the state of the union.
Yeah, so I wanted this course to be different. I wanted it to be a bit special, and I definitely wanted it to serve the target audience of nonfiction authors in a unique way. So I have a course right now called Build Your Online Course, which goes over all the information you need to learn how to build a course. But there are a lot of unique elements for nonfiction authors based on the context of their business, based on what the topic of their book is, based on a couple of things. And you really want to tie the course to the book. So, to create like a product line instead of these completely separate products. So I decided to launch a special course, if you will, just for the Monetize Your Book with a Course offer. And that course will include almost all of the curriculum that's in my Build Your Online Course program. So you get all the tech detail about how to build your course, but it also has special set aside offers, resources, events strictly for the nonfiction authors that are trying to do this so that we can pull your context into the learning experience. It'll have unique workbook sections, the same sections that are in my workbooks that I produce with the book as a companion guide will also be incorporated in the course material. So you don't have to decide whether to go with one or the other and feel conflicted. You can get all of that great content in both formats. So yes, ma'am.
Awesome. All right. Who do we have?
We have a bunch of people checking in. Ahmed, Mr. Ahmed, the tried and true Ahmed Bashir, lubrication guru. Hello, Ahmed. This is one of the single most supportive people you're ever going to meet in your life.
Nice to meet you. Welcome.
Yep. We got some nice comments about Karen Hunsinger.
Yeah, we did, of course. Does she even know? Does she even know she's supposed to be here right now?
I don't think she knows. We're talking good about her.
I don't think so. She'll hear about it, though. She'll hear about it.
You're spoken well of, Karen.
Right.
Jen Pisano also.
Yep,
Karen Hunsinger is the best.
Of course.
She is. I needed someone to kick my ass, and Karen kindly.
That's right. EBM people for the win.
Yep. Sabina says she completely agrees that the topic of launching a course can be overwhelming, and integrating all this with your products is
not even launching it, just even figuring out what's what. Just even knowing to do a welcome video or to do a video about the fact that you have a, like have a video on your landing page for your course talking about the course. Be the voice and the face of your course.
Right.
Did you add video is king to your manuscript? Because it wasn't anywhere in there. I was like, well, how did I read a whole book and not hear read video is king?
Yeah. I think I remember integrating that after you provided feedback, but my brain is so scrambled I can't remember if I actually did. So if you guys are familiar with what we're talking about, like Honorée's heard me say a million times that like video is king, but audio rules, and there's a reason for that. It's like that the video is like your primary lesson type that you're going to probably default to deliver and that your clients would like to see. And that's because they want to experience as much of you as possible. And there's a lot of people that are visual learners and just visually stimulated in courses. And it helps keep their mind going. But you got to be careful about how you make all these things, right? And the reason I say audio rules, even though video is king, is that like you cannot get away with bad audio in a course. You just can't. So
what's queen then? If video is king, then who's the queen?
I'm going to say application exercises.
Okay. All right.
So
and do we have prince and princesses too? Are there, I mean, is it a royal court or is it?
Yeah. Yes.
All right.
I think
so. In the course scenario, Prince William is played by handouts, resources.
Probably additional resources, because you can increase the value of the offer outside of the lesson content by offering downloads that are not necessarily like key to the lesson content, but are phenomenally valuable to the learner. So yeah, that's absolutely it. So video awesomeness, audio superiority, right? That's the king and queen.
Yeah.
And then your integrations into the course, making sure that you build your workbook exercises and all that
your
stuff.
Style.
Right.
Style. Yeah. So that would be Kate.
That's Kate. There you go.
Yeah. I was giving Kate a job because she's fabulous.
Helen may be screaming. She might be screaming right now. I'm looking for screaming. I don't see screaming. We do have, hey, Lisbeth must have heard us talking about her.
Yeah. Hi, Lisbeth. I love that name. What a great name.
Oh my gosh. And what a great person. Lisbeth was my very first like professional sales coach, like the very first coach I ever hired in my business. And I probably put this woman through more than she'll care to admit publicly, but imagine teaching engineers how to sell things. It's gotta be.
Oh boy. So Lisbeth is an angel. And so then there's Helen, got my hands over my ears.
Yes.
Helen, I love Will and Kate. I mean, obviously.
Yeah. Yep. And then we've got Ahmed here. Luke, so kind of you. He is a guru. Don't let him fool you. Okay. He is a sponge for information. So Ahmed is one of those people that just is in love with learning. And that's one of the reasons why I feel like you
are our people.
So in the video, let's see what you said here. In video, at times you lose interest. Yep. You were just watching, but for audio, you have to concentrate. So yeah. So imagine a video without good audio. It's just, you get so distracted by the bad audio that you can't concentrate.
It's like B movies sometimes.
Yep.
Right.
Absolutely. And when to write, I book from where to start. I am the first step. Oh, so Ahmed, are you asking about like when you write a book? Where do you start? What's the first step? Or are you talking about what's the first step to creating your course after you have a book? Just kind of clarify that in the comments for me. If it's about the book, Honorée, you want to jump a quick answer on that for anyone that's listening that goes, oh, that's a good question.
Yeah. So where you start when you're writing a book, there's a whole bunch of steps here, but the very first one is what's in it for you. What do you want the book to do for you? So he says, yes. And so it's, what do you want the book to do for you, for your brand, for your business? This is not a time to be like, oh, altruistic. I'm going to change the world. It's like, nope, I want to grow my bank account. I want more clients. I want credibility. Right. So that's really where you start. And there are a whole bunch of things after that, but that's really where you start.
Absolutely.
So
I think I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, I think it's important that people understand that, because some people might like flinch and go, what do you mean it's about the business? You don't write the book about your business. Why would you be thinking about that first? Because writing a book is a significant investment in your time, all the resources, money, time, relationships, everything. So if you go and like invest all of that, you don't have a good business case for it. And then you go and put that in front of people as one of the leading products in your business, you're going to fail most likely.
Yeah. The book will fail. The book won't meet the vision you have for it. And that's just such a bummer, right? I see so many times people go almost all the way there, and then they decide, oh, I don't have the money, or I don't want to spend the money on whatever. And it's like, but what's the vision you had? What's the vision you have for your business ultimately? And where does the book fit into that? Because I mean, you can just do a book that you print. Is Kinko's still even alive, right? Is Kinko's out of business? But you know what I'm saying? Like, people used to say, I'm just going to run a document down to Kinko's or FedEx or whatever and print it out. So you can just get some binder clips and, you know, print out a document, put a binder clip on it, and pass it out at the family reunion. But that's not really it's not really going to fulfill the vision that you have. It's certainly not going to be a revenue generating asset for your business for a long time if you get a crappy cover or you cut corners. And you know, unfortunately, I just see that a lot. I see people who go almost all the way there, and then they go, oh no, I just want to get it out, and I'm going to go back and do it later. You never go back and do it later. You never go back and do a second edition. Very rarely do people go back and do a second edition unless the book has made them a significant amount of money. So if you're not going to stop and make the investment you need to make, then just don't do it. And I would imagine you would say the same thing about courses, right? Yeah. You want to have good lighting, and you want to have good sound, and you want to have good videos, and there needs to be video editing, and you need a top and a tail, and the video needs to be a little sexy with like pop-ups and things like that. And so unfortunately, it's too easy in some ways. There's no quality control. The thing you cannot do, interestingly, in publishing is publish a bad audiobook, because the places that you upload your files to have quality checks. So if there's a humming or the video doesn't meet their quality, they reject you, self-published or not. Unfortunately, there's nobody at Amazon that's like, hey, that's a bad cover. Your book is fine, but the cover hurts my eyes are bleeding. Stop it. Right.
Yeah.
So I appreciate Sabina's, weighing in on, you have to eat and keep a roof over your head. Then just delay getting your book published. Slow your roll for 6 months and save up some more money so that you can invest in an asset that is going to pay you back multiples over time. I see people go, well, I'm out of money, I'm just going to go ahead and publish this. And they don't recognize the opportunity cost, because when someone sees your book and it's not good, they assume you're not good. So just because you have a book out, if it's not good, if it's not done well, if it's not better than traditional publishing, if it's not optimized, then unfortunately you're just, you've got a book out there, but it's not really working for you.
I was getting ready to say, I think when you buy a book or you download an ebook, it's almost easier to be more critical of that product than it is anything else that the person puts in front of you. It's harder to be as critical to courses in many ways, because people are so familiar with books and they've all got opinions. And it's just immediately reflective on the quality of your business when you pick up someone's book. So if you're doing indie, this is one of the reasons why I indie published the way I did. This is one of the reasons I sought someone like Honorée, was to learn how to do it the right way, so that it would reflect not only what the person deserves to have in their hands when they pick up my book, but also I just wanted it to accurately reflect my brand, my business, my personality, all the things. And to Sabina's point, you have to feed people. Like in your family, you have to eat. Your business has to live, right?
Yeah.
So if you don't produce the right thing, it's hard to do that. Courses you have so much technology available to you with developing courses now.
Oh my gosh, good, right?
It's just amazing what you can do from the comfort of your home. Bob, you asked the question, like when I refer to courses, am I referring to, let me put it up there real quick. Am I referring specifically to online, on demand versus in person? Actually, it's both, right? So in the book, I'm specifically talking about on demand online, because that's the option that most people are seeking for diversity in their product line. They're looking to do something online and in person, but if anything else, just online, because the in-person part obviously has time commitments that they may or may not be willing to fully invest in delivery. So the book is written so that you can do this. You can take this approach in both arenas. But if you have the right course built online, converting it to an in-person course is so much easier to do. And vice versa. So I meet a lot of clients that have been teaching a course for years, and then they finally decide they want to make it available online so they can reach more people, because one of the geo restrictions with online in-person, or sorry, not online, but in-person delivery, is that we have to be in the same room. And if I don't have some type of hybrid online component or a fully online course, I can only reach so many people. So for reach purposes and flexibility and people being able to watch it on their schedule and their time, the online course is obviously superior. But that doesn't take away from the value of being able to also deliver that course in person to either select audiences or routinely as just a comparative, or sorry, a complimentary offer, right? So you may have this online course and you also teach it in person on certain dates throughout the year at certain locations. You may have an online course that's very popular in an industry and you offer that live at like a convention or at some type of special event for business, whatever the case is. Yeah, so you can do both. And for those that don't know, Bob does do both. So he's taught his courses both in person and live, and they're fantastic. Sabina, I don't know if I put this comment back up. Thank you, Honorée. All right. I also meant to agree with you that business is the first thing to consider when writing a book. You want to earn a living. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, Bob or Sabina, go ahead and drop a link to your book in the chat so people can see it.
I actually got an email, Sabina. I haven't had a chance to forward you yet. Oh, great. I opened my email. I have 43 emails since we started talking.
Really?
How is that even possible?
They're good.
But I'm looking for this email that I got. I'm going to send to Sabina because it's so good. It's just so far down here. Still scrolling. Okay. So Goodreads sent me an email, Sabina. It says, check out 72 books for career and financial success. So when we talk about having books like our book, right, in the also bots, I'm just gonna like real time send this to you right now. There it goes on its way. So no like fancy message or anything, just like boom in your inbox. But those are probably some complimentary books to yours.
Mm-hmm.
So now back to our regular program. What does Bob have to say?
Bob asked, oh guys, Sabina's link to her courses in the chat.
There. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so Bob asked, does the nature of the course content change for in-person versus online relative to exercise interactions? It can. You can choose. And by the way, this is really popular for physical sciences. So if you're teaching physics courses, if you're teaching, you can demonstrate a lot of stuff on video, but the moment you want to pull the student into application and integrate with the exercise, you have certain limitations in the online space, right? They could be imposed by safety concerns. They could be imposed by just you not being able to physically be present with the learner and interact in real time. Oftentimes, you can overcome this with a hybrid online approach where you're teaching the course live and you can interact one-on-one. You're just not in the same room, and you can guide them to address some of those safety concerns, or even guide them through the physical application if they have the materials there that they're using, and you can give them in real-time feedback on that, right? Which is great. There's something to be said in the trades about this. Actually, I wrote a paper on this it was for Dave Gillespie. I wrote a paper that he put in one of his news articles for his academy, the Virginia Technical Academy, about whether you can achieve what's justifiable in a live environment versus an online environment for interaction. And there's just certain things you can't replace. Like teaching someone how to weld is an art, and it takes like feel, and it takes like on-site scanning and reviewing of their work. That's a whole different level of teaching a physical thing than me teaching you about like maintenance task analysis, where I can say, break out your worksheet and me and you are going to go over it. And it's interactive and it's an exercise, but I can guide you, and it's almost purely academic, knowledge transfer, knowledge execution, recall, that kind of thing. But it's different than saying, go do a physical thing and let me evaluate it. Yes, ma'am.
We first explain what maintenance task analysis would be.
Okay. So substitute the
No,
words maintenance task.
I'm kidding.
No, I was going to say substitute that with just,
I'm just saying
anything that's
I
knowledge
need to
based.
take the 100 course before I can take the 400 course. Thank you.
Yeah, just anything that's like purely knowledge extraction and recall, meaning like I ask you if you can remember what I teach you, or can you demonstrate the ability to recall what was taught, and ways to combine information. That's different than saying, all right, I taught you about welding, now go set up a welder, right? Like taking someone through the process of setting up a welder is one thing, than teaching them how to take a welding rod, like with almost no vision on a welding helmet, and go strike an arc and make a pretty weld. It takes a lot of practice, and it's a very physical thing, but it's also takes a lot of like interaction from the instructor.
I think I've got it. I think from right what you just did, I think I'm totally like weld right after.
Is that you saying end the torture?
No. Who typed that? Who is my people?
You just yell uncle and pound the table at the same time.
Pound the table. Yeah.
So, but there are ways that are, just to kind of close the point on this, there are ways now that are available to integrate a lot of that application into online courses that didn't used to exist. So the excuses that we used to have for like, we must teach this in person because we have to do all these interactions, all those excuses are getting smaller and smaller because the tech is getting better and better. Right. So like,
well, and also like we really proved during 2020 that there were a lot of things that we could do virtually.
Yeah.
A lot of people who said, no, you have to do this. And now we also learned, just for the flip side, for the people, the arguers in the crowd, I'm also going to say, we also learned that there are a lot of things we have to do together in person.
Yeah. Well, and in person in the same room versus in person online is different too. Right. So it's like, Yep. So
on demand versus in person.
Right. Yes, I do want to point out one element that's changed over the last few years, because like, so you have this great workbook in your course, right? So this is, I must market my book, which is a workbook companion to You Must Market Your Book, right? So these two are companion products. If I go to this course, right? If I go to this course, this workbook, if you had taught me this live back in the day, you would fill this out and then you would turn around and hand it to me. And I would take it home and I would review it and I would grade it, right? And then give you feedback. And that was like the old school way of doing.
Yeah.
What's that?
I said, don't send me your workbook, please, everyone.
Yeah, don't send me your workbook. Right.
Don't get it. Was like fill it out, but don't send it to me.
So if you were doing like an application-based exercise or assignment, you would have to do that and exchange it with the instructor, and then they would review it and they would provide you feedback and all the things. Now you don't even have to have a printed thing. You can do a workbook purely digital in the course player. You fill it out and the instructor can just see what you're typing in the workbook, and then they can provide you feedback immediately. And
crazy,
it is. I mean, you can do it synchronous, you can do it asynchronous. Like you can do this on demand, whereas the instructor, I wake up in the morning and I look in the workbook and I can see what everyone did overnight. Like it's crazy that you can have that level of interaction with these types of products purely because the technology has advanced, and now you have the ability to do that with like a mature LMS, like a learning management system, and apps like Wobo, which is a digital workbook.
Well, speaking of that, in Monetize Your Book with a Course, you share all of the technology. There's a whole chapter 5, course creator technology. So you talk about an LMS. What's an LMS? A lot of people don't know that an LMS is a learning management system. That's where you're going to house the course and people are going to log in. And then you talk about what's the camera that you need to get? What's the microphone that you need to get? How do you make sure that you're not recording bad audio? And I think one of the things you were just referring to are the tools you can use, the applications, the plugins. I don't know, is that the right word? You can have with your LMS, like Wobo.
Yep.
I don't know. Hi, I'm Honorée. I'm a writer. I don't like whatever.
No, you got it. You're good. You got it. Yeah.
That's my excuse for everything. I'm a writer. I don't know. Oh, wait, I'm also a welder now. Thank you for that lesson. But you talk about Wobo, which is workbook, Wobo, and it's right. So you could literally see if you uploaded the workbook, what work people were doing overnight or since the last lesson, which is very cool because it's an interactive tool between instructor and in-student, instructor and in-student, student.
Let's go with it.
English is my first language. Boy, it's a rough day. Is it over? It's 11:42. Okay, still got a ways to go. All right, good to know. So anyway, I like that in your book is the 30,000 foot view and the granular information. Is that Jen? Did she put a link to my workbook?
I don't know. Is that Jen? Jen, is that you posting links to the Amazon? Talk to us, Jen. Let us know. So we won't post it.
Because it's got an emoji. It has the little book emoji. That seems very Jen.
Okay.
Did you notice I have 449 reviews?
Oh,
which you're going to have very soon.
You just picked up several today.
Well, I had 46. And then I asked a few people. So yes, it's me, Jen. Yeah, those are
so if you guys
links to the
see these links,
and the book and the workbook.
Yeah, these will take you to the book and the workbook for You Must Market Your Book. Thank you, Jen. I appreciate that.
You know what I think is so fantastic? It just occurred to me that for less than $100, if you buy the physical copies, for less than $100, you can write, publish, market, and monetize your book with a course. You can write your book, you can market your book, and you can monetize your book with a course for under $100 in the form of books from experts who walk you through the entire process. And I'm so appreciative of that. But from the student perspective, because that's how I've learned to do so many things, is finding the book that gave me the information that I needed.
Absolutely. I mean, and you can learn so much in a book that you can then turn around. And I mean, we talked about this before I even wrote the book. Like, if there's one thing I really wish I could sell people through products like this, it's confidence to get started and know that they can get through the process with the right resources. And this book, like, was just all about like brain dumping all that stuff into a book in a very easy to read, no BS, like actionable advice, so that they're not left going, I read your book, but I still don't know what to do. It's like, nope, here are 3 cameras you should consider based on your pay range. Here's 3 great audio options, all under $200. Here are the learning management systems I would look at if I were you. Here's all the stuff you want to load in your customer resource management software, your CRM. I gave a whole list of tags. If I almost didn't put that in there, I was like, am I really going to put like all these tags in here? And then I thought, why not?
Well, but it's so helpful because when someone like you says, put tag in your CRM.
Yep.
ASAP. I don't know where to start if I don't have an idea of what you're talking about. Like when I say, do the keywords for your book, you go, well, where do I start? What do I do? Where do keywords come from? Right.
Right.
And so it's so helpful when someone says, and that's why I did, you know, I don't want to keep bringing it back to my book, but it's why I gave an example of my book marketing plan all filled out.
That's right.
For the most part, right? I didn't put in the granular stuff, like which podcast I wanted to be on, because that doesn't really matter. But when you put in, don't ever email this person again, or put them in this category, or they go in this, or if they click on something, then they don't get the rest of the sequence. That's so incredibly helpful for someone, including me, who has been doing this for a minute and a half, to see how someone else's process is different or the same. And there's always another level, and there's always something to learn. So
Right.
I think that authors a lot of times have that, oh, I don't need to include this. This is silly. Nobody really wants that information. And if you second guess it and you put it in there, it ends up being the thing that someone says, thank you for putting in the 40 different ways you tag your subscribers, because that gave me some, I don't use all 40, but I might use 15 of them, and that's fantastic. I wouldn't have used any because I didn't have an example, because most of the time the kids that have figured it out are not turning around and telling people who don't know
Right.
what to do, how to do it correctly or in detail.
Right. Yeah. So for those that aren't familiar with tags or CRMs, a customer relationship management software is just a fancy way to say software that manages all of your contacts, all of your emails with those contacts, all of the purchases that happen outside and inside that CRM. It's basically like the business hub for your business. HubSpot's one, Keep is one, ConvertKit, Salesforce, all of these are pretty common CRMs. And in the book, I give a list of tags. Tags help you categorize your learners by certain behaviors. I call them learner behaviors, because it's what they do that drives what they should be tagged for. So you can say, oh, Honorée just bought a course. You can tag which course she bought. So now when she's entered into your CRM as a contact, you can look up her contact card and you can see which courses she bought. You can see all the emails that have gone to her. Maybe that tag, because she behaved that way, she bought a thing, it drops her into a certain email sequence that provides her with more resources, a certain newsletter, all the things, right? So,
but if you don't know that, right?
Yep.
If you don't know that in the creation of your course, you'll want to have tags for your learners.
Yeah.
You just think, I'm just going to do a course. People are going to buy it. I'm going to the beach. And you don't recognize that there's other things to consider. And it's really important to consider those things also one step at a time. If you're just thinking, oh, I should have a course. I have a book. I want a course, but I haven't known what to do. I'm going to get the book. Like, let me just say, from someone who's on the neophyte side of it, on the relative beginner side of it, even though I have a few courses, I'm always learning. I learned a lot. I learned a lot in this process. My first few courses were weak, were not great, because I just kind of did them on the fly. Like I think a lot of people do their books, because I didn't know what I didn't know. And then I had experts step in to save me from myself. And then I started working with you and started doing things with your kind of guidance, like, oh, well, try this or do this, or here's something to keep in mind, or have you considered? And there's a whole lot, and you can just do it one step at a time. You don't need to be in a big fat rush, but also don't overthink it. It's done is better than perfect. You want to just get in there and get something done. I was so glad when Tim Grohl said, you must do building $1 million book business, because so many people talk about publishing a book, and a lot of that advice is good. Some of it's not good, but nobody talks about monetizing books. He said, you have to do this. And I said, no, because I thought he was saying, Honorée, you have to go do this. And immediately I was like, I don't have a studio. I don't have a camera. I don't have a microphone. I don't know how to edit software. I don't know how to editing software for video, blah, 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 blah. So it's like in a nanosecond, I came up with 100 reasons why no, I wasn't going to do it. And then when he said, I'm going to help you with it, you're going to come and sit and talk, and I'm going to do the rest of it, and we're going to have a joint venture. I went, oh. And it's what gave me the courage to start having a course. And then holy crap, oh snap, I'd never done a webinar before. And I did a webinar, and we sold like 37 courses of the beta.
Right.
And I was like, well, hot diggity do. Right? I'm so glad I said yes, because it was great. And then it's one of my favorite things, right? The Q&As with the people who take the courses is one of my favorite things to do every month. So, I say that because you're the expert and you wrote the book, and it's second nature for you. And I can say, hey, Lucas, can you show me how to do something in Thinkific? Or I can ask husband, oh, can you show me how to do something? And he'll go, you go this, and then this, and then this, and then this, and you're done. And it's like, and I'm still going, okay, day is it? I don't even understand, right? And I'm not dumb. I'm not dumb, and nobody watching is dumb if you write a book. But if you just,
Right.
if you don't know that you don't know, you have unconscious incompetence. And so it can seem overwhelming to think that you're going to write, publish, and monetize your course. And so your resources really provide the step-by-step that people need in order to take action. And you can just do it with the book. That's the thing I strive to do with my books, is not to have but you get all the real information if you buy the course, right? I give everything to everybody I can give in a book, like you do. And then if they want more, then the course gives them the opportunity to have more, but you don't have to have more.
Right. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah. Jen says your Q&As are so good. They really are.
Checks in the mail. I got a lot of checks right today. So as we are, as we're kind of winding up on our hour already, are there any questions that you have for Lucas about monetizing your book with a course? And when is the right time? Or, obviously he's a think expert, and so his preference is Thinkific, and there's something so powerful with having someone who's not only an expert, but also has a line of sight or in the bat phone of the people who own it and run it. So make suggestions and connect, in a meaningful way. It's not just a big software entity where your help message goes to where email goes to die, right? Goes into the void.
I mean, it is one of the reasons I work with Thinkific. I mean, you experience this as a person who's been using their software for years. But the opportunity that they provide the Thinkific experts and a lot of the partners and the partner agencies to just interact directly with them to exact change is unparalleled. It's fantastic. The people that work there genuinely are interested in making the best possible experience they can for the user, and wherever they may fall short, they're working to fix that. So that to me was like huge. I'm like, yep, there is no perfect solution. There is no perfect LMS. But Thinkific in particular was the one that impressed me the most. And once I started working with their people, I was like, yep, this is it. This is exactly the kind of situation I like to be in with people. So yeah. All right.
Yeah. Awesome.
I guess I would just say for people, I mentioned it once earlier, and I mentioned it twice in the book at least, is that you guys have to get out there, and we do have a question that just came in, but you guys have to get out there and just get started with it if you're interested in it at all. Don't be afraid. You've got these resources. Be confident. You can learn. Everyone started on ground zero. It's a great place to stretch your legs and get started. All right, so what's the best way to do a close live in Thinkific? So if you want to do a live session in Thinkific, you have several options, but the one that is integrated into Thinkific is a Zoom integration. So you can connect your Zoom account to your Thinkific account and then create a live lesson in Thinkific. As one of the lesson types, you can choose a live lesson, and you can use that to set up a live Zoom session in Thinkific. That's one of the ways to do it. Another way to do it is to post your Zoom link in Thinkific in a text link, and just host a Zoom like you normally would, and have your students have the Thinkific course open as well as the Zoom. And then what they can do is they can see you on Zoom while they're interacting with the other lessons in Thinkific. So you have to decide whether you want them to be able to navigate through the course or not while they're in the live session. If you do want that, I would set the Zoom up separately, send them the link in the course, also email them the link, say this is the time, this is the date, and you can do a live session just like that. If that's the case, if you're doing it externally, you don't necessarily need Zoom, but Zoom does have a live integration with Thinkific. Okay, and then Ahmed asked, just like to know the secret of becoming writing experts and monetizing your book with the course expert. Are there any shortcuts? This is hey, look, Ahmed, I'm sorry to say this, but probably not. I would say that there's ways to accelerate the process, but I don't know if there's any shortcuts. I think the acceleration point, just I speak on my behalf at first, I won't speak for Honorée on this, but I think it's just getting around the right people that can help you get smarter, faster, and provide you with the right
The shortcut is
resources.
hiring an expert. The shortcut is hiring an expert or having an expert that you're learning from through their books, their courses, or even their one services.
Yes, absolutely. That's what I did. So that's how I met Honorée. I was looking for a way to get from unpublished to published in any professional way as fast as I could, while also not having to seek traditional publication. I wanted to indie publish. So I went to Honorée and invested in her book, then in a course. And then once I'd worked in the course for a while, I invested in the mastermind. So there's a progression there. Sabina just let me know that. All right, Sabina, thank you for the note on the advanced readers team link. I will drop that into each of the different sites individually. Thank you. Honorée.
Yes.
Things. We have things to do. We have to say things before we leave, because we do have to leave at the top of the hour. We want people to be able to learn where to find Honorée. You can find her at honoreecorder.com.
Yes, you can.
You can also find her at empirebuildersmasterclass.com. Make sure you drop the www in the beginning of the empirebuildersmasterclass.com. You can find me at marinotraining.com or at Empire Builders Masterclass. The reason why we keep talking about EBMC and the reason why we even stood this up is we wanted to provide one place for you guys to learn about all these things, so you didn't have to go to all these different separate sites. So we encourage you to go to Empire Builders Masterclass and make this easy on yourself. Find all the resources you need there for courses, books, summits, mindset, business builders, all the things.
Goal achievement, right? Yeah. Helen Bolin has a great class on there.
Excellent
has a great course on there. Andy Storch has a great class on there. I mean, there's so many great courses on the EBMC. It's a one-stop go-to place for entrepreneurs, and more courses all the time. Such good instructors and good courses.
Yeah. So one of our commenters said, I think the book helps provide a shortcut. Yeah. So this is one of the ways to engage with an expert and accelerate your progress, is to go learn from them, get their book, get their workbook, go to the courses, hire them, do all the things. Yeah.
Yep.
I will drop links for Helen's course and for, you just mentioned another one as well. Andy's course. I'll drop links to both Andy's and Helen's courses in the chat. Okay, guys, make sure you guys come see us again next Thursday. We do this live every Thursday, same bat channel, same bat time. Yeah. And if you missed this episode, you can check it out on all the different platforms that it ran on live. You can check it out recorded, and you can see our YouTube channel where it'll be hosted. So,
yeah.
All right, Honorée, thanks you so
everybody.
much.
See you next time.
All right, guys. Honorée's going to have to drop here in a second. I'm just going to put this up for a second if anyone was curious about the link for empirebuildersmasterclass.com. Karen was here.
Aha.
Yes.
She was lurking.
All right. She was lurking. We love you, Karen. All right, guys. Have a great week. We'll see you next week.